All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody waiting. We're gonna have a good time tonight, family. Woo wait. Tonight, the name of tonight's show is the Birthday Matrix. I'm about to bring on my guests. Y'all know what time it is when y'all see this brother. But before we get started, and I bring them on, hit that like button, family. That's real important for the algorithm. Hit the like button. Let your friends and family. Everybody has a birthday. Everybody has a birthday. Text this link to somebody you know right now. That would be greatly appreciated. Text the link to somebody you know right now. It's very important if you want to know about numerology. And before I bring on my guests, let's get to a couple of commercials. Let's get to this Holy Ghost 3 commercial. Holy Ghost 3 coming real soon. Shout out to Cam Bada. Be right back in 1 minute, family.
Started out with nothing. Now I got a whole lot of something. Breaking through the roof. Willy Wonka when he pressed the button. When I do a money ritual, all of a sudden money started coming. Then I cut the Holy Ghost. I still be rhyming even when I'm mumbling. You repeat my name 3 times. While you staring in the mirror, bottle will appear like poof. I came from out of thin air. To me the gun is like a magic wand. I make a problem disappear. I would knock a nigga teeth out his mouth. What? Just to turn it to veneer. I can do magic, I can do magic. 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 When I open up my mouth, I can move masses. Black magic on the beat, turn it to a classic. I'ma take the money out the bank, then I'ma put it in the mattress. So many niggas got.
All right, and we are back. We are back. Without further ado, I want to welcome back to the platform, Lloyd Strayhorn. Welcome back, my brother.
Brother Rich, thank you. First of all, a couple of things in order. Happy belated birthday again, just a couple of days ago, 2 days ago on the 17th.
Yes.
And congratulations for winning an award with Billy Carson.
Yeah, Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. Right.
His knowledge, yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it, my brother.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
And next time, don't get a haircut.
Oh, man.
Look like a kid.
Like a baby. Look like a baby, huh? Look
but
like a baby.
Let me tell you, Virgo is the sign of youthfulness.
Oh, yeah, Virgo?
Virgo is one of the only signs other than Aquarius and Gemini that is ruled by a human figure. Every other sign is animals. Every other one's an animal. You know, you got
you're right.
Goat for Capricorn, Ram for Aries, Bull for Taurus, Fish for Cancer, the Scale for Libra, Scorpion for the Scorpion for Scorpio, the half man, half horse. But Virgo is the Virgin. It's a woman symbol. Gemini is the symbol of a twins, and Aquarius is the symbol of the water bearer. So those are the only 3 signs that have a human figure. So that's why we always try to be humane to people.
Right.
Us.
Indeed. Very, very interesting. I want to give a shout out to the super chat. Golden Spark. She done sent her birthday already. She like, I'm gonna be the first one. She done sent her super chat super early. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Golden Spark and a couple of y'all who send the super chats. I'm gonna look out for y'all. But I want to ask Lloyd a couple of questions before we really dig deep into the show. I guess I want to start out with, I heard a gentleman, you're familiar with him, this a numerology guy named Gary.
Yeah.
And, he was talking about
Gary the numbers guy. That's what he used to call himself on TikTok. Yeah. He called himself GG33.
Right. So one of the things he said that was interesting, I want to ask you about, is that I heard him say that, you know, one of the things we complain about, people talk about, is the feminization of the black of the men, period, not just the black men, period. And one of the things he said that was interesting is the people born in the 1900s had a 1, and you know that 19, that 1 is a masculine number, but the people born after the year 2000, that's a 2, that's a feminine number. Yeah. So that leads to I guess you would say men acting more feminine, because post 1999, everybody's born under that 2. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
No, that's exactly right. In fact, I wrote I wrote a piece back in 1979 called "The Rise of the Black Woman," referring to when we're approaching the year 2000. That two rules the feminine principle. It rules women. It rules the moon, which governs Cancer, and that women would be coming into their own. I had no idea that women would take this thing that they don't need men, but what they've done is so men, I shouldn't say feminine, I would say they're effeminine. That's
Right,
another word.
right,
Okay.
right.
So the things that guys do, carrying pouches, things like that, the guys before that would never think about doing. That's part of the course now.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is it seems that they want the men to be soft. There is biologically no soft men. Soft men don't build buildings. Soft men don't build bridges. Soft men don't construct things. You need men to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
All right.
but he would be right that this is the age of Aquarius and this is the age of woman. So in that respect, I definitely agree.
Indeed. Next question I want to ask you, my brother, in terms of birthdays. You know, we get assigned a birthday when we hit this realm, when that little baby comes out that womb, we get this avatar. Boom, that's our birthday. You was born July 1st, 12:49 p.m., 2002 or whatever. That's when you get assigned this birthday, and that's the energy signature. And you carry that energy signature in this realm. One thing that's interesting, Lloyd, is that they say we spend about a third of our lives not in this realm, but in the dream realm. Now, if we spend almost half of our lives in another realm without this avatar, it seems as though we have a different personality in that dream realm. So, do you think in that dream world that we spend a third of our life in, is it still ruled by the number that we were assigned when we were born here? Is it still ruled by the birthday? Or once our spirit leaves this body and travels in that realm, that number is no longer relevant?
I think that's an excellent question, and I would have to agree with the third piece. I think the number is not relevant, or the sign is not relevant. The dream comes from the different experiences, whether we grew up as an early childhood without trauma or with trauma, depending on the parents, education, and things of that nature. Sometimes dreams affect the person when they're very stressed or very tired or very happy or very inebriated. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Some dreams, some have. This year is a very interesting year because 2020 rules dreams. It rules either strange and or prophetic dreams. Prophetic dream simply means I step off a bus and I can say, oh, wow, I remember this. I remember dreaming this. It almost scares you.
Right.
It's almost that dream becomes a reality. So it's those things, strange dreams where you wake up and say, what was that about? You know what I'm saying? So we all have dreams. This is why they have dream interpreters. In fact, I forgot the name of the African village where all they would do is get up in the morning and talk about their dreams and interpret their dreams. I was always told that dreams should be taken either literally or symbolically. So if you dreaming about burnt toast and your mother-in-law comes over in a couple of days later, you can get the association, you see what I'm saying, or whatever the case is. But the point is that it takes an expert to really interpret dreams. As you know, you being in Brooklyn, me being in Harlem, they used to sell what are called dream books. And dream books, you know what I'm saying, Big Red, Big Blue, all those things where you go and you play your number. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. But dreams have a way of clearing the mind. Sometimes dreams are scary. Sometimes dreams are very pleasant. But it is an out of body experience because you have no idea where you go.
Indeed. All right, a couple of more questions because I see people sending in their birthdays. So I definitely I want to get to. I can't say I'm gonna get to all of y'all, but we gonna get to a lot of y'all. But gotta get a couple of questions off to the brother. Who's somebody's asking? Is this an old re-upload? No, you live? We live, brother. This ain't an old episode. We live. Today is.
So that's how you roll. They should know that, brother.
Yeah. Today's September 19th, family. September 19th. All right, let me ask you this, Lloyd. There's 9 numbers.
Yes.
Everybody falls under these 9 numbers.
Yes.
My question is, are these numbers, like, let's say, I guess my question would be, do these numbers have souls? Not there's 9 souls, which is the 9 numbers, and all the avatars, human beings down here are just avatars that these souls are, you know,
Reflecting, I would say.
reflecting.
Yeah.
So there's really only, would you say there's really only 9 souls on this planet, and
Well,
just a
there are
bunch of
9
people?
souls, but then there are when they come called what is called the compound numbers. So basically, you're
Mhm,
right. The numbers go from 1 to 9,
mhm,
but 10 has its own definition. The master number 11 has its own definition.
got
12, 14, 15, 16. So, for example, let's get to 17.
it. Mhm,
17 is called the 8-pointed star of Venus. It's a picture symbol of a woman kneeling by a body of water, and there are 8 pentacles, which is the symbol for money or finance in that way. But it denotes the power of financial success, the number of immortality.
mhm,
The 17 is totally different than the 26. And in
mhm,
fact, the Secret Service is founded under the 26. In fact, they have their office at 26 Federal Plaza in
mhm,
New York City, which I
mhm.
thought was interesting. But 17 denotes that which a person tends to do very well. J.P. Morgan was born on the 17th. Muhammad Ali was born on the 17th. In other words, what I'm saying is this. When J.P. Morgan was asked in his time, is it true that astrology make millionaires? He says, no, it makes billionaires.
Billionaires, yes.
Then when you look at Muhammad Ali, before he came on the scene, boxers were getting paid next to nothing to get their heads knocked off. He's the one that started getting paid millions of dollars to fight Joe Frazier and
Mhm,
George Foreman and other boxers of that nature, Sonny Liston. Then, if you look at Michael Jordan, who's born on the 17th, how long he been out the basketball game?
mhm.
Many years,
Yeah,
but he still sells his retros.
yes,
You
yes.
see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so 17 is called that money number. So all 17s would be my new best friend. In fact, my youngest son is born on your birthday, and
Excellent.
he is a whiz. With eights, though, they tend to be late bloomers. And the reason why I say it, because first of all, if you add today's date, September the 19th of
Mhm,
2023, it adds to an 8 universal day.
mhm.
So those who are born on the 8th to 17th or 26th of the month, or under the sign of Capricorn, Aquarius, or Libra, this would be an interesting day. And I say that because next year is the year of the 8th, 2024. Now, what happens is people think that the year starts on January the 1st. Officially, in that way, it does. But metaphysically, the influence of the year begins to be felt as early as the last days of September, which starts next week,
Yeah.
going into the month of October. This is why I always call October the preview month. It's like you take your lady to a movie, and before you see a movie, you see the trailers. So you say,
Mhm.
"Nah, I don't want to come and see that. Yeah, I want to come and see that." So it gives you a snapshot. And I learned this from women. Women can almost tell you around this time of the year how they think the year coming up is going to be.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But this is the preview year. So 8 represents money, power, authority, achievement, recognition, births, pregnancies, moving into a home, moving out of a home. It also represents people who do a lot of growing up. And so, since 8 is an opposition number to this nation, and the following year, which is a 9, 2025, is an opposition number to this nation. That means we are those citizens of in this world, that this part of the world we live in will be likely to be more challenging. But each countries are ruled by signs.
Mhm.
China is ruled by Libra. Its original rulership under Mao Zedong was under Capricorn.
Mhm.
Then Russia is ruled by Aquarius. India is ruled by Capricorn. So these will be some of the nations that will take center stage. And it has nothing to do with me as so much as the part of the world that governs these numbers.
Indeed. So you mentioned Venus, and that's right in alignment with the a question I want to ask. What I want to ask you is that, we study these ancient gods and we're trying to understand these ancient gods. I want to know, do each of these ancient gods or these deities represent number frequencies? Because that way, if we study by studying the gods, we could understand what it means to embody that number. So if you tell me about Venus, and I know she represented number 8, and I'm number 8, then I could embody, and I would know how to tap into that frequency of the number 8. So do all these ancient gods represent a certain number frequency?
Yes, not only that, but in the Yoruba religion, the deities represent numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Catholicism, their saints represent numbers. numbers are all empowering in everything we do, and numbers do set off a frequency. Now, Libra, for example, is governed by the planet of Venus. Venus is ruled by the number 6, which is extremely tight with the number 8. Okay, so when you say that 8 is extremely close, 8, or I should say, Venus is ruled by air, its element. It rules balance and beauty. And in fact, if you wanted to know about the kind of woman a man is having in his life, you look at his Venus position. If you want to know about the kind of woman a man is likely to be in her life, you look at her Mars. So there was that popular book out years ago called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. So whatever your Venus position, let's say your Venus is in the sign of Capricorn, that doesn't mean you will have women in your life that are all Capricorn, but they will act in Capricorn ways, serious-minded, no nonsense, business-like, whatever the case is, because all these things are very symbolic.
Now, what about something I was reading up? I was looking at videos and reading up on that I'm not too familiar with when it comes to numerology. Is something called, this is interesting because you told me about life path numbers, destiny numbers. We know about the birthday, your birthday and all of that. But there's also a heart's desire number where you add all the vowels in a name. And there's something called a personality number when you add all the consonants in a name.
That's right.
So do you tap in with those right there? Because
I teach that. I used to teach it, and I still teach it. The heart's desire, the way you feel, is almost equivalent to your moon. In astrology, there's your sun sign, then there's your moon. Well, your moon represents your inner thoughts. People can't see it, or whatever the case is. So the vowels represent your heart's desires. A, E, I, O, U, sometimes Y, sometimes W. It all depends on how that's working. Yes.
Let's give an example. So let me ask you this, because a lot of people have a first and a last name. They have middle names, but they don't use their middle names that often. So when we're using this numerology, do we use the middle names or we just use the first and the last name?
Well, you use the name that the person's most known by. Most of us are born with 3 names, okay? First, middle, and last name.
Yeah.
But by the time we become an adult, that's one of the reasons why there are 2 different systems that I use and employ in my book. The one I teach is the easiest. That is the Pythagorean system. That goes from 1 to 9. But that system is based upon the name that you were given at birth. That's great if you just had a baby or the baby's 1 year old. But when you talk to adults, we already know how the name we wish to be addressed, okay? So Earl Simmons is DMX. So you know what I'm saying? Little things like that. George Latour Wallace becomes Biggie Small. So it all depends. So with the Chaldean system, they say you take the name you're most known by, and that's the 1 to 8 system. But they're all valid. It just depends on how it is used.
So Lloyd, let me see me, for example, so I can see how accurate, because this heart's desire number is. So I got a I and an A in my first name, Richard, and my last name, who's this calling me? Tupac L. This is like in my last name, Merritt, I have an E and an I. So I-A-E-I. Those are the vowels in my first and last name that I'm most known for. My name, Richard Merritt. So A-I-E-I.
Okay. Now it all depends. If you're dealing with the Pythagorean system, those I's become 9s. If you're dealing with the Chaldean system, those 9s become 1s. So let's deal with the Pythagorean system first.
Right. What's more accurate? That's more accurate, the Pythagorean, you think?
Well, I'll put it like this. When a person is reaching me for counsel and paying their hard-earned money, I go with the original system, which is the Chaldean system. Both systems are good. It all depends on, it's like taking a Mercedes and a Volkswagen. You still get to the you still get to the destination. That is the point. So you can have a $40 Rolex watch and a $10 watch on 125th Street, still gonna sell at the same time twice a day. You see what I'm saying? So it all depends. But in this case, so we do Richard, that adds up to 1024. So in other words, when I add 9 plus 1 plus 5 plus 9, which is what those vowels is, A and I and A, and then an E, and then a 9, that would add up to 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So it means deep down inwardly in your soul, it's always about home, family, security, things of that nature. It will also means that therefore you would have a desire to be drawn to all things related to home and stability. It would rule the second house in the zodiac, which is a house of possessions and things of that nature. And it also means deep down your soul has a good judge of character.
Oh, excellent,
I
amazing.
notice how
Woo, this is on point.
you pick things.
Oh shit, this is on point.
Is like, you know, you don't do this and that. It's like you got to feel. Well, 6 rules the sixth sense. My class, Learn from Lloyd How to Read a Person Like a Book, was based upon the principle of the sixth sense. They have a way of reading people. They don't know them. They don't, you know, but they just look at them and can almost tell how things are going to turn out. However, if I do under the Pythagorean system, that would be 1, 1, 5, 1. That would be 8. Because I represents a 1 under the Chaldean system. A represents a 1. E represents 5. That's 7. And the other I represents a 1. That would be 8. Well, 8s and 6s are just like this. They're both property numbers. They're both earth numbers. But 8, if you use the, I should say, Chaldean system, it means that your philosophy is very mature, a little misunderstood, very focused, highly concentrated, with purpose, focus, and direction. And because you got those ones, it means all the way with leadership, doing things on your way. And what's interesting, 8s and 1s give the appearance of being cold or distant because both those numbers are found on the mental plane. So people would think that you lack it with no feelings, that you don't care, or may misperceive you as being blasé, but you're not. You just got to weigh this, got to make sense. If it don't make sense, what are we talking about, guys?
Yeah, my girl tell me that sometimes she be like, man, you cold because I have the ability to say no at the drop of a dime. You know, some people can't tell people no and they get run over and they start doing things they don't really want to do.
Yeah.
I know how to say no real fast. Like, nah, I'm good.
But
So
then again, you're born on the 17th also.
Like,
and the fact you're born on the 17th will only reinforce those vowel numbers that add up to an 8 under the Chaldean system.
Right.
And it means good sense of judgment, practicality, you know, just and dedicated. And yet that number indicates that deep down, if people, so when it gets to an 8, like born on the 17th, or your vowels add up to an 8, I would say the motto should be over your door is to know you, is to love you. Once they know you, they say, like, you my man. You know what I'm saying? You with them through the thick and thin.
Wow, yeah, man. Now this is some good. I would say I got there's so many systems, like the people do the astrology, the numerology, the cardology. Numerology is definitely one of my favorites. It just always fascinated me, interested me. King Simon from back in the day, it just always fascinated me how accurate that brother always was. And I'm just like, how the hell does he know all of this from a number? So
King Simon is one of the best. Trust me.
Yeah.
He rolls like that. That's why we brothers.
Indeed.
You know, I'm just a little older, but we brothers. There's no question.
Shout out King Simon's in the chat right now. Shout out to King Simon. So, fam, this thing is deep. We got personality numbers, destiny numbers, life path numbers, heart desire numbers. We could go many ways with numerology when you get to read it from this brother.
And then there's the cornerstone and the capstone.
What's that?
The cornerstone is the first letter of your name. Imagine if you build something, they lay what is called the cornerstone to the building before they erect it. Well, the cornerstone represents the first letter of your name. So your name, Richard, starts with an R. That's 9. So that means your basic approach is like universal, global, international, inspirational, motivational. It also indicates that you would be very blunt in your situations. But let's say a person's first name is Matt. That's a 4 because M is ruled by the number 4. That means their approach will be more cautious and deliberate. And the capstone is simply the last letter in your first name. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to this. There's a whole lot to this. This is what I teach in my online courses.
Oh man, I mean, absolutely amazing, Lloyd. Absolutely amazing. I want to get to some of these.
Let's do it.
A lot of people have said today. I'm gonna try to get to a lot of y'all. If I don't get to all of y'all know what to do. Hit Lloyd up, send him a receipt. He'll look out for you for a full reading. But yeah, I'm gonna stop running. I'm gonna stop running my mouth and ask the questions that get to y'all. I think there was one more thing I want to ask. You know, I'll ask in a minute. Let's start this, and then I'll come in with a question later on. But yeah, we're gonna get to some super chat questions right now. Shout out to everybody with the super chat. We're gonna start with Golden Spark. This was the first sister that sent in
March the 30th. Now, each number and sign is governed by an element. So not only is she a fire sign, she's
and
also
Lloyd, don't be too long with the read because
no.
you gotta
She's also a fire number, which means this person is very passionate, very action oriented. Everything about them is fire. 3 is a fire number. She's born on the 30th. That's a fire number. Born in 1989, which has a 27, which is a fire number. So throughout the life, this person would always be very proactive. And since we are going into the 8 personal year soon, that means she's going to be going into a 5 personal year, which means she's ready to make a change.
Indeed. Were you a fan of? Let me ask you this, Lloyd. Was you a fan of, the pro-black movement? You're older than me. In the set, you've been a numerologist, and you've seen a lot of people change their names. Like Malcolm X went from I believe it was Malcolm Little to Malcolm X, and the whole Muslim movement with the Nation of Islam. Speaking from a numerology perspective, were you a fan of doing that? Did that make sense? Did that change the energy signature? What was your thoughts on a whole group of
anytime you change a name, you change the frequency of it. Okay. This is why I was telling you, people know Biggie Smalls, but they don't know George Latour Wallace. Christopher George Latour Wallace, which was Biggie Smalls' birth name. People know DMX, but they don't know that Richard Simmons, Earl Simmons, thank you, was his original name. Then you got people that added an E to their name, like Dionne Warwick and singer Gene Carn and singer Marvin Gaye. So sometimes they either change the name or either add a letter or subtract a letter, because each letter sets off a frequency. And therefore, it's like you listening to a radio station, which is why you will prefer one station to listen to, and I may prefer another station to listen to. It all sets off a frequency.
All right. Okay, did you finish with this sister? You finished with Golden, right?
Yes. Other than that, she doesn't look her age, and she's a natural flirt.
Oh, Golden, stop flirting. Stop flirting, Golden. I'm just joking. Thank you for the super chat, sis. Hope you benefit from the reading. Let's get to Jara.
Jara, now just the opposite, where the first one was a fire sign with a fire number. This person is a water sign with a water number, Jara. And if you look at Jara, she's got 2 1s. So that means that her soul is very receptive, yet very independent, because although it adds up to a 2, which is normally gentle, persuasive, kind, things of that nature, because it's 2 1s, it tells me she's assertive. So when she says something with a smile, everybody knows she means that thing deep down. And then when I look at her birthday, though, it tells me she's deeply intuitive. Pisces is known as the psychic sign of the zodiac anyway. 7 is known as the psychic number in numerology anyway. So therefore, this person would always be intuitive and receptive and very particular. The year that this person is going into for 2024, is a 9 personal year, which means all their dreams are going to come true. By the way, their lucky numbers are the 7, 2, and 3, and their best days are always on Mondays and Thursdays.
Okay, let's get to Gold Rush, 4/29, 1985.
I'd say women is his blessing and his curse. If I had to sum it up, a very nice guy, very strong. Aries are always very, very well. He's actually more like a Taurus. So he's a Taurus too. So he's an earth sign with a water number, which means he's very nurturing, very protective, especially if he has daughters or women in his life, his lady, his mate, his wife, whatever the case is. He's also, believe it or not, very, very psychic, very, very intuitive. And he'd do well in engineering and mechanical, mathematical sciences, computers, technology, gadgets, gizmos. But his most important numbers are always the 2, the 7, and the 6. And he's always finicky and fussy about his eating habits and his dietary laws.
Okay. All right, let's get to Keisha.
Keisha is also an earth sign with a water number. And when I see that combination, it tells me Keisha is nurturing. She is huggable, lovable, affectionate. I would give her a hug twice a day, if not by actual physical embrace, by encouraging her by saying, you know what, Keisha, if it wasn't for you today, you saved the day. She would not mind putting forth extras. And she's also extremely psychic. I would not try to play the sister. I would not take her sweetness for weakness or her kindness for granted. That would be a bad move on their part to do that to Keisha. Her numbers are the 2, 7, and 5. And by the way, she's got a birthday coming up tomorrow. So we wish you, Keisha, happy birthday tomorrow.
Happy
Okay.
birthday, Keisha. Or Audrin Smith.
This is a Gemini 5. It tells me they started walking before they were 1 year old, probably. They're very smart, multifaceted, multi-talented, multidimensional, very engaging, and they always seem to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. How they may have met their mate, how they got their job, how they found their place, and things like that. And they don't like repeating themselves a lot, too. And they're going into a 9 personal year for 1984, which means they're going to wrap some things up, fulfill some dreams, and embark on long distance trips.
Hey, Lloyd, do you take into account that this sister and some of the a couple of I think somebody else has their time? Do you read a person and add their time into the equation that they were born?
Yes, I could tell her that the time she was born tells me her son was in the second house, in the house of Taurus, which is the house of possessions. Yeah, this is why the astrologer needs the time, because it tells you the placement of where the sun is around the horoscope. And what happens is, and on the far left side of the horizon is 6 a.m. and to the other side of that horizon is 6 p.m. And then it goes every 2 hours. So hers is from 4 a.m. So that tells me hers is not in the first house, but it's actually in the second house.
Lloyd, you see how you said the time the person was born tells you where the sun was on the horizon, and that's very important for astrologers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that believe in the flat earth theory. Would that theory change the way astrology and numerology and everything is calculated if the earth is flat and it doesn't, I guess it doesn't spin like they say it does it?
It possibly can. I understand, but as anything, the operative word is theory. So everybody got a theory about this, that, and the other. But this seems to be a time since immemorial that way, that whatever the earth is, we assume that the earth spins on this axle and rotate. But there's some schools that feel it's a flat earth. I guess that means you can see as far as the horizon. Me, I just go by what I've known after all these years. But by the way, her lucky numbers are always the 5, 6, and 9, and her best days are always on Wednesday, Tuesdays, and Fridays.
All right. I'm gonna let you read this number. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, Lloyd. Get my
okay. Sophia is I like her attitude about diabetes. Yes. Diabetes is very, very curable. But you, in this case, Sophia, have always been old when you were young, and you've gotten younger as you've gotten older. I swear. And so this is why not only are you blessed not to look your age, feel, or act your age, but this will also explain why younger men are attracted or drawn to you. You see what I'm saying? And not only that, but it indicates that you're very expressive, very articulate. And it's interesting because you're even born in the year of the 3, 1983, as a 21, and 2 + 1 is 3. So it tells me at this juncture, more than likely, wouldn't surprise me if not only you deal with younger men, but men from different cultures. They could be from the Caribbean, Africa, Asia, South America, Europe, or whatever the case is. You're really international. And because of that, you need to learn a second language too. And so since you are an earth sign, which is practical, with a fire number, which is passionate, that tells me the things you do in a practical way, you need to add more fire symbolically to it to get the job done. All righty. Your key or most important numbers are always the 3, the 6, and the 5. And your best days, without exceptions, is always on a Thursday first, followed by Friday second, followed by a Wednesday, in that order. And here's another interesting thing too. 3 women tend to have no makeup. I'm willing to bet you dollars to donuts she wears very, very little makeup on her face. So at least what you go to bed with at night, you know what you're going to get up with in the morning.
Wow. Okay. Let's get to the next person. We got Sharon, 21067.
She's a Aquarius 1, like Simon, my buddy. And first of all, Aquarians don't play. Number 1s don't play. And we all know King Simon, he don't play. And that's what is his favorite thing? Stop playing. Okay, that's his favorite mantra. She's very independent. She'd have made an excellent lawyer, doctor, scientist, entrepreneur, manager, supervisor, director, but some kind of way, but being dictated to by other people, being bossed around would never set well with her. Although she, for the most part, as she grew up, was very, very sensitive in her childhood. But as she came into her own, she's been a groundbreaker, the first to leave home, the first to go to school, the first to finish school, the first person to do this, that, and the other. So her whole history is being number one. And her numbers, by the way, are the 1, 4, and 5, 9, excuse me, which are the leadership numbers. And she also has to watch her eyes. So although her picture has it without glasses, there's a higher than average probability she may wear glasses or had LASIK treatment because the left eye is a little bit weaker than the right eye.
Mm. Shout out to the brother I met in Whole Foods today. I seen you in the chat. Appreciate the support, my brother. Shout out to that brother right there. I was with my son and I ran into the brother. Shout out to that brother right there.
Your son is growing, I know.
Yeah, he's about to be 5 October.
That's what I know. I know.
About to be 5. He's maturing. Excellent, man. I'm so proud of the big guy.
He's got great parents. That's the way the blessing is. He's got great parents.
Indeed, man. Appreciate all the help. You, King Simon, Rod Cool, y'all gave me a lot of help with the readings with my son when he was first born, and I truly appreciate it.
Anytime.
Remember you came in my basement and he was in the basement that day?
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate all the help y'all gave. That's why I always recommend y'all, family, these speakers that I have on here. You know, some of them I have personal experience with readings, and Lloyd is definitely one of them. King Simon is definitely one of them. Raku is definitely one of them. And those 3 gentlemen right there are amazing at what they do. So, and this is very helpful. I always give the story real quick because we got a lot of people to get to. I was feeling down and out one day. I always tell the story. Gotta keep telling it to remind people. I'm a street vendor. I'm outside with my product in New York City. King Simon comes by, tells me to pick my head up. He reminds me of who I am. He says, "You're number 8. You money, man. What's wrong with you?"
That's exactly right.
You need that reminder because it's so easy to forget in a world full of distractions. And if something doesn't go what you anticipated, you need people to remind you of who you are in this realm. And that was a huge reminder, and I never forgot it. That day he told me, "Pick my head up. I'm a money frequency. Don't worry about it." So I love these brothers right here, and just keep doing your thing. Let's keep it moving because we got a lot of people here. Next up is Natural Mystic.
Natural Mystic is very odd and unusual, exceptionally visionary. This is why she will have secret enemies brought about by jealousy, envy, or insecurity. She likes to think outside the box. She's very sensitive. And the interesting thing about Natural Mystic is she will forgive you, but she ain't going to forget it. So if you did something to her wrong, she might forgive you later, but she ain't going to never in the back of her mind forget the injustice that was done to her. She is a very visionary, futuristic type of person, very unconventional, but she would do well in the mechanical, mathematical sciences, electronics, engineering, radio, television, computers, technology, things like that. And number 4, I noticed, tend to have a natural bent with the mechanical, mathematical sciences and they fill with numbers, birthday numbers, license plate numbers, some kind of numbers, doodling with numbers at some point. This particular year has been a year where she's been very busy, maybe dealing with some legal, semi-legal matters, but next year is her year to really lay the foundation, set the boundaries and the borders to what she needs to do with her life. And Aquarians are going to be helping her. Leos are going to be helping her. And Geminis are going to be coming into the mix in her life as well.
And you see that time. What can you read based on that time, Lloyd?
Well, if you notice, I'm not based on the time. I'm based upon the numbers. The number is 4999, which adds up to 31. And she's born on the 31st.
Oh, come on, man. You come on, man.
I'm just trying to help
Lloyd, man. Brother, you too sharp. You cool. You too cool with it, man. This brother is sharp. Let's keep it moving. This brother's too much, y'all. All right. Another birthday tomorrow. Chris Morgan. Shout out to the Virgos.
Well, Chris Morgan is a person, you know, if you write the number 2 on a piece of paper, it's almost shaped like the intestines of the stomach. Well, Virgo is the sign of diet. And the number 2 is the number of diet. So in other words, that tells me she's either very finicky, fussy, particular about her eating habits. Let me tell you how you deal with Chris. Let's say you want to take them out on a date, and your first date is to roll up on Mickey D's. Trust me, it'll be your last date with this person. Because because they are very particular about their eating habits. So if you took them to some place where there's ambiance, great food, atmosphere, seeing dance and stuff, because two people as a rule love to dance. So more than likely this person may have had experience in dance, theater, African ballet, a modern dance, or something of that nature. And they love to collect things. They're very sentimental. And that would be the part I would appeal to, those little things that mean so much to them. And the one thing about this person, they're not high maintenance at all, but they are very particular how you treat them or don't treat them. And
Okay.
their numbers are the 2, 7, and 5.
All right, let's get to Rebecca.
This is another Virgo 2. This is the third Virgo 2 person. So what happens is this. One was born on the 20th. She's born on the 2nd. The one born on the 20th, the one before, is about the awakening. This one is very, very particular. And I noticed health-wise, with the number 2 women, they normally have sensitivities with the reproductive organs or female problems, as she would call it to us as men, or very particular. It rules gas, tumors, hemorrhoids, diabetes, things of that nature. But believe me, she is very particular about not only her diet, but especially her hygiene, because Virgo is a sign of cleanliness. The number 2 is a number of cleanliness as well. So if you were to visit her for the first time, she'd make sure that the kitchen and the bathroom are tight. Everything else she can fake.
Okay.
But her numbers are the 2, 7, and 5 also.
We got
Now,
Baba Chi.
Baba, this is a case where he's an air sign with an air number. So that means always in his head. Something is always going on. Okay? Things like that. And so what happens is, with him having all this air element, he loves movement. So whoever's dealing with him in a romantic or emotional kind of way, I'd say the best way to hold on to Baba is let go of Baba. Don't be clocking him. Don't be sweating him about where he's going, what he's going to do, when he comes back. You can get away with it maybe 1 or 2 times. But on the regular, you'll ask a question and one day you'll be talking to yourself because he'll be gone. His numbers are the 5, 6, and 9. And he is very talented. He's multi-talented, multi-dimensional, multifaceted. So if you look at his resume, he would surprise a lot of people by his background in terms of career, the goals and objectives he wants to do as a person.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to Erica Isaac.
Erica is, look at all those 1s and 9s. There's nothing but fire numbers running through her name. She's got 1, 2, 3 5s. I mean, 3 1s, 2 9s. 1s and 9s are fire numbers. So it tells me Erica is a very action-oriented person. If I did her vowels, which is a 9 and a 1, that also adds to a 10. So that means she would make an excellent lawyer, doctor, scientist, entrepreneur, manager, supervisor, director, head of a department, but in some authoritative position. People in relationship will accuse her of being bossy, but she's not bossy. She knows what she wants. She's going to speak on it. Simple.
So you broke down her vowels. So that was her heart's desire number.
Yeah, that was in my head. Her first name. But see, the first name is your active name.
Right.
So normally on a job, when you go or introduce, you always introduce yourself by first and last name. But then that's the informal move we make where we call each other by a first and last name.
Right. Okay. Wow. This is good, y'all. Before we continue, tell the family how can they reach out to you to get a full reading? Because you.
Well, they can go to my website, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. But in fact, Brother Simon listed it. It's Linktree / numbers in you. No space. Linktree / numbers in you. And by the way, Rich, I just released a numerology app. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I did. And people should download it. In fact, you can download it by going here. It's called astar8.com. It's available for Android users, Apple users. If you go there and download it, you'll have a lot of fun. And notice I put the 8 on the end. Why? That's the money number. That's the number of infinity when you put it that way. You know what I'm saying? It's the number of time, without beginning, without end, things like that. So it's astar8.com. So the website will allow you to review it before you download it, or just go to your Apple Store or Google and just download it directly. But this gives you a kind of a tease or a clue as to what the app will provide.
Somebody in the chat said, I missed yours. I didn't miss anybody. I'm going in order. If I didn't get to yours, that means that it's not time yet, but I didn't miss anybody. I'm going in order from the very first super chat to where I'm at now. I'm just looking real quick to see if I could locate. Okay. King Simon, post that info again, King Simon, because the chat is booming. So I can't. Okay, hold up. All
There
right.
it is right there, Linktree. And I have an online course, 3 online course called the Learn from Lloyd series. Thanks, King Simon. I also have a podcast. I also have an audiobook of my best-selling book, Numbers in You. So it's now on audiobook. I spent about a week and a half in Philly recording it. It's a lot of work, but it is actually from my voice, talking about the book itself, reading the book, and people even get reading material when they do it. And also download the app. And also, there's a free monthly newsletter available for them too for September.
Wow, a lot of stuff, man.
Oh, and by the way, I need to thank you. When I started my class in February of 2020, it was on your show.
Yeah.
And now it has grown to over 6,000 students in 93 countries, translated in over 30 languages. Thank you.
Whew.
Thank you.
No
Thank you. Now you see why anytime you ask me to do something, hey, yo, there's no question.
That's King Simon calls it the black magic effect. You know, people.
Well, it's awesome.
It's the. I guess it's the number 8 effect, huh? It's the 8 effect, man. Maybe that's what it is.
Awesome. And I can't thank you because the first time I mentioned my online course, and I only had one course since then, it's grown into 3 courses. Learn from Lloyd how to read a person like a book. Learn from Lloyd the next step in numerology, and learn from Lloyd the do's and don'ts of numerology. Thanks to you. Thank you, man.
All right, let's keep it going because we got a lot of people here. Let's go to Mostar Soul.
Mostar Soul is a earth sign with an air number, means practical and logical at the same time. This year coming up for them is a year that's going to change their lives for the next 2 years, like it did in the fall of 2014 and the 2015, 2016. And this person is also ready to make some changes. This year has been challenging. This year has been testing their resilience and whatnot, but things are about to change. In fact, they should almost sense it and feel it and almost practically taste this freedom that is about to come their way. They work under pressure. They do well by being left alone. Don't be looking over their shoulders and micromanaging. They can't stand it. But their key numbers are the 5, 8, and 6, and their best days are always on a Wednesday, a Saturday, and a Friday in that order.
All right, let's get to Crystal Edwards.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about Crystal Edwards. She needs to run her own business.
You see how she, Life Path 33 on a Thursday. God damn, Crystal, you are. I see why you need a business.
She knows what she wants.
Yeah, I see.
This is the kind of woman. See, she doesn't have a problem finding a male. Her challenge is finding a man. There's a big difference between a male and a man. That's what she goes for. So Crystal don't be playing. She's normally very direct. She was out on her own between her 19th and 22nd birthday. Could have been a little older before then, but she's always been a decision maker. And just that profile tells you she doesn't play. So she's not intimidating. She's just very direct. So let's say you're dating her and she says to you, listen, Rich, are you dealing with anybody? And you know how we men will say, no, I ain't dealing with nobody. Don't play her like that. You should be real and say, listen, boo, yes, I am. Yes, I got somebody, but I'm really feeling you too. At least you would appreciate your honesty. But you play her and lie to her, that's it. Because sometimes she can act like she's cold, like she never knew you, never kissed you, never hugged you, never embraced you, or never made love to you. So you don't turn her off.
All right, Crystal.
Her numbers, by the way, are the 1, 4, and 8.
All right, Crystal, let's get to Kane.
Kane is August the 26th of Virgo. They are earth sign with an earth number, which means they keep it real. They keep it grounded. They use a lot of common sense. They keep their feet on the ground. And 8 people tend to be misunderstood. So are you. This is why with 8 people, the older they get, the more they become. 8 is I call the number 8 persons born on the 8th, 17th like you, or the 26th like her. The children of fate or destiny. So let's say she's about to get married. Well, this person that she's about to get married may not have been the person she had planned to marry, but as fate or destiny happens, that's who she winds up marrying. So sometimes it's almost as if higher forces came to step in and take a hand in a person's life and affairs with a number 8. But she's very serious-minded, dedicated, loyal, conservative, and will be with you through thick and thin. When she looked at the heavens and feels she has God on her side. Her key numbers are the 8, 6, and 5, and her best days are Saturday, Friday, and Wednesday.
I am 1111.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but I'm looking at the birthday, and I can tell you this from the birthday. Well, I can understand they're born January the 2nd of 1990, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 111 adds up to a 4. But if you take mentally, as I did quickly, the month, the day, and the year this person is born also adds to a 4. So what happens is there are terms that are used in numerology, like destiny number, life path, birth path number. But the way I say it to people who may not be familiar with these terms, the month, the day, and the year you're born says this person's in the 4th grade in the school of life. She's here to learn how to be structured, organized, have a blueprint or plan to a method of what she plans to do. And the key numbers are the 2, 7, and 8. Now, this person is October the 17th, got a birthday coming up a little less than a month from now. So they are air sign with an earth number. This person, I would say, in fact, they're going to be reaching their 33rd birthday. And normally with number 8, in your case, even 2, Brother Rich, normally when your life turned around is between your 33rd and 35th birthday. If you look at it. And this person is going to reach their 33rd birthday just next month. So they're ready at the that they're at the edge of things really getting ready to turn itself around. 8 is about business. The compound number 17 is called the power of financial success, or the number of immortality, which means when this person transitions, people are still going to speak lovingly and reverently about this person. But 17 is the money number, straight up, no question. And this person's numbers are the 8, 6, and 3, and Saturday, Fridays, and Thursdays are their best days.
Let's get to Myra.
Myra's 7-7, a water sign with a water number. That means Myra feels things very, very deeply. 4, 6, 7, 8. Let me see that. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Myra's name tells me one of her parents could either be a Capricorn or Aquarius or Libra, or born on the 8th, 16th, 8th, 17th, or 26th of the month. But because she's a water sign with a water number, that means she's deep into people. Her feelings are very strong. She can sense things very well. And she's very particular. And she can also be very sarcastic, too. She could say, you know what, Brother Rich, you need to take a long walk off a short bridge and keep walking. And you'd be saying, is Myra trying to tell me something? Yes, she is. Yikes. She prefers to be her own best company. She has a mind of her own. How she likes to think for herself. And during the pandemic of 2020, of March 2020, which added up to a 7 personal month, she had no problem staying in at all. And she loves to read. If I went to her house, a lot of books. Okay, my birthday is tomorrow. I have all the teaching books, gratitude. I love the teacher insight. So her birthday is, do you know how many? This is about the 5th or 6th person that's a Virgo too. Yeah. You know, so happy birthday to you too, Chris. So Chris's birthday indicates she's kind, receptive, artistic, imaginative. 2s also like to collect things, or they find it hard to throw things away. You know, 2s are very, very observant. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell a person, never take their sweetness for weakness or their kindness for granted. That would be a bad move on your part. So where you think they're asleep at the wheel, just the opposite. They're on it. And 2s are the nuts and bolts of life. Sometimes 2 people are accused of being like getting in the weeds, all in the minutia. But I consider the 2 the nuts and bolts of life. We're sitting at this chair. You take the nuts and bolts out of the chair you're sitting on, it collapses on the floor. I'm at a table. You take the nuts and bolts out of this table, it will collapse. So 2 people play a very, very important role. But because they don't get that kind of juice, like maybe some of the other numbers, people will take them for granted. But with her being a Virgo, which is Earth, a water number, it tells me she's very nurturing. And whoever is in her life should make sure she gets some sugar twice a day.
Let's get to Missy Bay.
Now, this is a Leo. This is an air sign with a fire number. No, excuse me. This is a fire sign with an air number, and then they are master number 22. Now, we did talk about the numbers 1 through 9, but in numerology, they have master numbers. When I was starting, the popular numbers was 11 and 22. Now it's 11, 22, 33. In my second course, Learn from Lloyd, the next step in numerology, I did all the master numbers from 11 all the way to 99. But in this case, it tells me the tendency is to be misunderstood initially. And I would say to know Sharena is to love Sharena. That is just that simple. She likes to think outside the box, very, very unconventional. So she will create some haters, people who are jealous, people who are envious. What you gonna do? But somebody got to have vision. And when it comes to her, she is at her best. Her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5, and her best days are always on a Sunday and a Sunday, a Monday, and a Wednesday, more than any other time of the year. And 4 people, like 8 people, by the way, tend to be misdiagnosed. So whenever you go to a doctor, if they think something is wrong, always get a second opinion. That's always the rule of thumb with a 4-person and an 8-person like yourself. Because just as people tend to misunderstand the 4 and 8, so do doctors. So I tell them if they go, always go when the moon is in a cardinal sign. What do I mean? Aries represents spring, Cancer represents summer, Libra, which represents fall, and Capricorn, which represents winter. So if they go when the moon is in these signs, so it's very easy nowadays. All you got to do is go to Google. Google, where's the moon at today? If the moon is one of the cardinal signs, that's when especially a 4 and an 8 should go. And they should always get a second opinion, because oftentimes, and 8s and told me, and 4s have told me, sometimes there would be a medication make them feel worse before they got there.
All right. Shout out to Chirp. I seen you sent the super chat, but you didn't leave a birth date. I didn't know if you wanted to read or not. But there's just to let you know, there's no birth date with your super chat. If it's just super chat, I appreciate it. We're gonna go to the next one. Shakita.
Yeah, she's got a birthday coming up in about another week and a half. But Shakita is a person that is a very independent spirit, grew up very fast, assumed responsibilities very early. Again, between that magic years of 19 and 22, give or take on the side of that, they were out on their own. If their life path, they said, is a master number 22, that's a 4. They're born on a 4. They're also born in the year of the 8. So this person will have a very eventful and yet unexpected happenstance in their life. There will be sometimes extremes of maybe not having things, and then an extreme of abundance. There will always be something. So it will take a special person to take the time to really get to know this person. And yet they're very, very different. In fact, next year coming up is the year where they really get it together, get their plans, create their boundaries and borders and things like that will keep them in good stead. That's for sure. Their numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. And their best days are always on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday.
Yeah, Abundance wants to know, is there a limited year? We'll probably be on here about 30 more minutes, 30 to 40 more minutes, and after that we're gonna wrap it up. Anybody who sent it in donation, you could send Lloyd your receipt and he'll work something out with you. You could get a full reading. Just send him a receipt. He'll see how much you sent in, and the brother will work something out with you. I advise everybody, even if you already got a reading, to get a full reading from Lloyd. Like I'm saying, this brother is one of the best in the world. There's billions of people in the world, and I just happen to have one of the best numerologists on my show. And this is not just because the brother is black, or it's just because he's on my show. He's just one of the best. If somebody's one of the best, I'm gonna say they're one of the best, and he's one of the best, hands down. So I would just recommend anybody to get a full reading. But if we don't get to you tonight, definitely he'll give you his contact info, and the brother will work something out with you. His reading.
And can you or Simon, Brother Rich, explain how these receipts work so I can make sure people do how I'm properly to respond to them, because I don't want to think they're being ignored. I just don't understand the process yet. It's all new to me.
Got you. What we'll do is we'll give them yeah. We'll work something out with your email. We'll give you email.
Okay, good enough. That'll help me. That'll help me very much.
Because King Simon does. He's done this before. Let's get to where we at now. I mean, y'all booming. I think y'all booming more today than I've ever seen. We got Shakita. Okay. In praises God, I think. LaShawn, let's just say LaShawn.
LaShawn loves to be in love with love. She's born in the 6th month, which is ruled by Venus. She's born on the 24th, the number that is ruled by Venus.
You know, it's funny. She made a little heart symbol at the end of that. She made a little heart symbol. So you're right. I don't know. Did you see that when you said that?
I'm just seeing it now.
Yeah, she made a little heart symbol. So you're right on point.
Yeah, 6 is a love number. They
Oh,
fall in love with love. And in fact, the best color for her would be blue, cream, greens, and whites. If she wears those four combination of colors in any variation by itself or in combination of, she would get a lot of attention on interviews, things of that nature. She's a person that she has a strong sense of right and wrong and justice. So on a job, everybody knows that LaShawn don't discriminate. If you're right, I'm down. If you're not right, I'm not down. She treats everybody the same. She would have done well in the arts. She would have done well in business, and she would have done well in the world of service. So it tells me as a youngster, she may have thought about being an artist, a painter, a singer, designer, actress. Then maybe gotten into real estate, banking, law, working for the government, but eventually being of service like a social worker, supervisor, manager, Reiki master, psychologist, nurse, teacher, professor, things of that nature. But her character is very, very sound, and she's always helped by influential women, whether it's a mother, a daughter, a sister, or some woman in general has always helped her get to the next level in her career. And the one thing about six women, too, Brother Rich, they're always a work in progress. So I know she either just finished the course, about to take a course, thinking about signing up for a course, but she's always about evolving and becoming a better person.
all right. So this sister here forgot her birthday earlier. Chirp. She right there.
Well, Chirp doesn't look her age. That's the first thing I'm seeing. It's a very interesting image. I'm trying to figure out, is that the image of a male or female so I can
That's
see.
female. It's female.
Female? Okay, so good. So
She
what it
got
tells,
her eyes looking
yeah.
scary. You know.
So what it tells me is that Chirp is the kind of person that really got out the gate early by walking by the time she was 9 months or less, or by and definitely before a year old. It also indicates everything about her indicates she will never look her age. Now, although that picture doesn't do her justice, if you see her without that appearance, you probably wouldn't recognize her. And even though she's born in 1990, her name or her birthday suggests that right now, in certain instances, she still got to show some ID if she rolls up into a liquor store or certain establishments where she's got to have to show her ID because she's blessed not to look her age. Also, I looked at the fact that she's in a 9 personal, she has a 9 destiny, which means she's in the 9th grade in the school of life, which means she has to be global, universal, international. And I would encourage her to speak a second language too, because she has a gift with foreigners, foreign countries, foreign languages, and that would be to her advantage too. Her lucky numbers are the 3, 6, and 5, and her best days are always on a Thursday, Friday, and a Wednesday.
All right.
Thanks, sir.
Indeed. Got Brandon.
Okay. Brandon it's interesting. This is the same day as the guy that's now called Prime in football, Deion Sanders.
Hey, prime time.
Everybody.
Hey.
That's his birthday, August the 9th. And then they think he's bragging, but let me explain. First of all, he's a Leo. The first person to reach the moon, a Leo. The first person to reach the North Pole, a Leo. The first African-American to reach and as far as this country is concerned, about the only one they'll have was a Leo. So Leos are very dynamic. Well, 9s do the same thing. Number 9 men normally think they're the greatest thing since ice cream.
Woo.
So if you've ever seen Deion in some of these interviews,
oh man, that brother.
He is very direct. He keeps it real. But this is what happens when you deal with a number 9 person, whether it's Deion Sanders or anything. And with Deion being like this person, a fire sign with a fire number, what you see is what you get. So Brandon's name suggests that he may come on kind of easy, but he is tough as nails if he's got to go with it. There's no question. His numbers are the same as Prime Deion Sanders, the 9, the 1, and the 4. This is Divine Goddess, born on April 8th. So this person is a person, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same as the person that founded the first billionaire for the Black brother that's for the BET, Johnson, I think the name is, but that's the birthday. So it tells me this person is very mature, has always been mature, a little misunderstood, but very dedicated, very committed, very conservative, very focused. And in fact, people think they get tunnel vision because when they zero in to the empty grid. And in this case, though, it indicates that from the year she's coming up into, with the year of 2024, 4 being the year of the 8, and she is an 8, I would expect her to do very well. In fact, she's going to be changing her things around in the home, changing relationships as such, and changing things at the workplace too. Okay. But her numbers are the 8, 9, and 6, and her best days are always on a Saturday, Tuesday, and a Friday. Oh, Jermaine. Jermaine is a fire sign with a fire number who will be blessed to be very youthful in appearance. When I look at the birthday, they have a 6, they have a 6 destiny, 6 life path, 6 birth path, which tells me from my vantage point, this person's in the 6th grade in the school of life, which means they're ever in a state of learning, growing, evolving, reaching other levels of their education and wisdom and understanding. Very ambitious. Anytime you see a person born on the 30th, in fact, the very first person that came on your bottom of your screen was 330. 30 represents mental superiority, big thinkers, big doers, and things like that. And in fact, Shirley Chisholm, the same day as Shirley Chisholm, the first African American woman to run for the presidency of the United States before any other woman thought about running for the presidency of the United States, was Shirley Chisholm, born on this day. So this person here he's got a gift with kids. I would have him mentor kids. That is one of his gifts. He probably liked pets or pets like him. He would do well with photography. Very ambitious and a very natural flirt. He don't mean to. It's just organic. He don't even know he's flirting sometimes. Maybe his lady got to say, honey, won't you stop flirting? You say, I'm flirting, but that's how he is. His lucky numbers are the 3, the 6, and the 9. That indicates he's very creative, very artistic, very expressive, and imaginative, and really funny when things go his way.
All right. A G Fashion, you didn't. I guess this is just a super chat. I don't see a birthday, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Mama Love.
Mama Love is a person that's water and water sign, water number, and then see Pisces is rules the 12th house, which is a house of self-undoing. It is a psychic house, which means since this year is the year of the 7, 2023, and she is born in a 7, and plus 7 rules the sign of Pisces. This has been a very meaningful year for her in terms of either coming of age, growing up. There's been some kind of events that took place this year that brought her back in connection with a lot of people, such as funerals, weddings, christenings, baby showers, reunions of some kind, whether college, family, high school, neighborhood reunions, and things like that. And she's been doing a lot of growing up. In addition to that, it does indicate that perhaps there might be somebody coming into her life that she hasn't seen in eons, maybe an ex, maybe somebody that they couldn't get together at that time and things went separate ways. But she's very sophisticated. She likes to be her own best company. You can't knock on the door because you ain't got nothing to do thinking you're going to come in and do her a solid because you'll be embarrassed and won't get in. Now, who she would expect is Amazon to knock on her door, FedEx to knock on her door. But basically, her basic thing for Mama Love is she prefers to be her own best company. And it also tells me as she was a youngster, other women thought she was snooty, stuck up, or who does she think she is? But her lucky numbers are the 7, 2, and 3, and her best days are always on Mondays and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm. All right. Lola Pretty Brown Eyes.
Okay, John Coltrane, Bruce Springsteen, Ray Charles. All these people are born on that day. I mean, there's a host of people born on this day. So this person indicates she will always be a person, never having a problem attracting the opposite sex. That's never been the issue. What happens is the opposite sex just won't leave her alone. So let's say Lola Pretty Brown Eyes is married. They're going to be somebody, although they know darn well she's married, they're going to want to try to do her a favor. Okay. I know you married, honey, but can we still hang out anyway? No. But she is very smart, very engaging. But what I would tell a person, because 5 is the number of sex attraction, Libra is the sign of beauty. So I know she's a good looking woman in her own way. But I would tell a guy who's dealing with her, just don't get captivated by her looks. Go down the rabbit hole and really get into her because she's curious, engaging. She brings a lot of skill sets to the table. She's quick in thought, quick in action, and she likes to keep it moving. So it can't be slow. Okay. Her numbers are 5, 6, and 9. Okay. In Zulu gallery clothing, they are a water sign with a water number. So that means they're very sensitive, intuitive, like to hold on to things. And in fact, they're born in the year of the six, which means 24/6, which means influential women in the last days are going to help them very much. And it also indicates, too, that this particular person is in a 7 cycle and is about to enter in 8 years. So things are about to change for them in relationships. So I'll say this: if she's not in a relationship right now, all of that will change. If she is, because 8 represents love, marriage, separation, divorce, births, pregnancies, moving into a home, moving out of a home. So in other words, she's also going to be entering a pregnancy cycle. So she may say, well, I don't know how to spell the word pregnant, but I'm not talking about it's got to be biological. Numbers speak in symbolic terms as well. Did she give birth to an idea, birth to a plan, birth to an enterprise, birth to an endeavor? It's things of that nature. And she's going to be really coming of age where she's going to step back and really see what part she's been playing on life stage and the people in her life and what all that means. But her numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. And by the way, the psychic numbers are the 2, 6, and 7, and she possesses all 3. I would not play the sister. You get your feelings hurt.
Wow.
Fidel Castro, Rex Humbard, such as this person born. This person takes a lot to be understood. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Oh, when they were growing up young, then they started attracting odd and unusual relationships, and because of that, they created secret enemies, jealousy, envy, insecurity. And their thing is they've always been baffled because their thing is like, I'm just trying to handle my business. I don't know what all this is about. Very sensitive, high strung, like to think outside the box. That is one of the characteristics of a 4. If you tell them to go one way, they will go another way on you. If you say why, they will say why not. And because of this, you would have to really get to know them. And only as this person has gotten older that they start seeing and dealing with their life in a certain way. Yet they're very sensitive and they've got a lot of emotions underneath. But it says those who understand the 13 is given power and dominion. But those who misuse the 13, it will wreak havoc and destruction. So as long as this Leo the King stays on the good side of 13, I would expect him to do very well. And by the way, their numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. And Sunday and Wednesdays are their best days. And Mondays. Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. Okay, this is Delcine. Now, Delcine is a very attractive young lady. I'm looking at the fact she's under the sign of Taurus going into Gemini. She's really a Gemini, but she's born on the 24th. So, yes, this is the kind of woman that you deal with where you got to provide the best of both worlds. You got to provide the security by the home, family, and yet you must give her some breathing space at the same time. Yet you must also allow her to be a work in progress, evolving, taking courses, seminars, retreats, things of that nature, always evolving as a person. So in 2022, she did very well last year. This particular year says now she's ready to, in fact, this particular year that we're wrapping up, she's also been wrapping up some people too. And in fact, probably around late August into this month, she says, you know what, Delcine, I don't need this. I don't need that. She probably looked at some people straddling the fence and says, you know what, I don't need you guys either. I'm out, because now she's ready to do her own thing. So her best friends coming up in the 2024 rather, is me, myself, and I. But her numbers are the 6, 5, and 9. Anyway, so here we got you got a lot of Virgo conspiracy up in here.
Them
You know what I'm saying?
920s, them 920s.
They're either 920 or 92s. So what can you say about this person? Well, you can say about this person that they're about to enter into a 1 cycle year. What I did was I took mentally the month and the day they're born, adding it to the year coming up, which means this year they've been in a 9 personal year. 9 is one of their major opposition numbers. So all these Virgo 2s have been challenged to a greater or lesser degree, one way or the other. Some with relationships, some with career, some with this, that, and the other. And since 9 is an accident, argument, and confrontational number, there may have been some drama in many of these Virgo 2 persons. The good news is this: all that is about to be over, and now they're going to be starting fresh, starting all over again, minus the drama, the BS, the nonsense, and start anew. And so their 3 best friends should be me, myself, and I. And it also indicates that Aries, Leos, and Aquarians will be helping them along the way, or people born on the 1st, the 10th, the 19th, or the 28th of the month. Things are about to change for them compared to this year. Now, this person here is a Leo A fire sign with a water number that appears to be somewhat contradictory. But in other words, they're passionate about some things and yet very private, laid back, and intuitive about other things. So it all depends on what's working with them. It is said those who are born on the 25th are always safe on water. So let's say, Brother Rich, this person can't swim a lick. If there was a boating accident on the Caribbean, and they got these drinking uh, boats, whatever, where people, and there's a boating incident, more than likely, even she says she can't swim, she would be one of the survivors to come on board, even if nobody else does. Okay. But she's very analytical. And when they says they do well as the very observant, that means she doesn't miss a trick. She has a mind of her own. And she should get into some kind of writing or research, investigation, or analysis where she can go further down the rabbit hole. The only thing I notice about 7 women is that normally people think they're a little stuck up, they're a little snooty, or who do they think they are? When it's not that at all. They just like to stay under the radar. That's the one thing about 7s, women especially. Okay. Well, Chanel is born under what is called the divorce number. Now, it doesn't mean she has to be divorced by marriage. The 28 is called the number of contradiction, or the divorce number, in the sense, not divorce in relationships, but divorce in her finances, her resources. Number 1 is who she puts her trust in. Let's say coming up as a young girl, she asked Susie to talk to Johnny. Susie, go over there, talk to Johnny. Don't even bring Chanel's name up in the equation. So she has to understand, because she's honest with people, everybody isn't going to be honest with her. Number 2, who she gets advice from. So she's got to get it from the best. And I'm one of the best to do this, me and King Simon. So she knows if she comes to us, she's going to get a solid information. Then 3, she should never let people push documents under her nose and sign right here. In the life insurance, they used to say the large words added, the small words take it away. Well, lawyers will tell you, you got to do what? You got to read the fine print. So if she's ever looked at where she had money and she lost that money because of misplaced trust, ill advice, and rushing into signing and putting her name on the dotted line when she should have checked earlier. But she is a Taurus 1, so that means she's very straightforward. She speaks her truth. She said she was born on a Friday, which is a lucky day, which would add to her attractiveness. And the fact she's headstrong, she would have made an excellent lawyer, doctor, scientist, entrepreneur, manager, supervisor, director. And she's not wearing glasses, but her birthday suggests she may, because her left eye is a little bit more sensitive than her right eye.
Man, you knock these things out the park, man. You not. I mean, you just. Oh man, this amazing stuff, Lloyd. It's amazing stuff here.
Yeah. I'm always curious as how people say your brother know what he's talking about. Oh, and by the way, I'm now on TikTok too, under Numbers Than You.
Excellent. I'm gonna follow you on TikTok. Let's get to Michelle Renee.
Michelle, let me tell you this. She would have, there was this famous comic called Mons Mabley. And she said the only thing a woman can do for her is bring her a man. Well, that's Michelle Renee, okay? Michelle Renee normally will attract men in uniform, law enforcement, military, construction, security, fire. If the guy is handling tools or machines or instruments or wearing a uniform, they've probably been sweating Michelle a while. Michelle is very feisty. She's a fire sign with a fire number. So what you see is what she gets. It's not about sparing words, man. If you're a knucklehead, how many ways can we say knucklehead? Although she would use stronger language. But yet she's got a heart of gold. She's very generous, universal, global, international, motivational, inspirational, bring out things and stuff. But people who are born on the 27th is called the number of the royal scepter. It means a person who succeeds as their productive intellect. So yes, she has a very attractive image of herself, but her mind is just as attractive as her beauty. And so if we men can learn how to get past that a moment and go down the rabbit hole and deal with Michelle, they would have a better chance. And her name, Michelle, suggests that her mother was either a Cancer or born on the 2nd to 7th, the 11th to 16th, the 20th to 25th, or the 29th of the month. And she doesn't look her age. Okay, with Brianna, who was born 11/11, in fact, of all the angel numbers that occur, 11/11 is the number that is most seen by most people.
Yeah.
We all got a pet number, but everybody talks about 11/11.
Yeah.
Well, Brianna is a Scorpio master number 11 person. So she's got 5 ones in her name if you take 11/11/1985. So in other words, of those 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters, numbers in her name, 6 out of those 8 numbers in her birthday are all fire. So that means she's passionate, very determined. Plus she has 3 ones in her name. So that tells you she's very forceful. She has a good opinion of herself. And so people think she's all of that. And she probably feels, yes, I am all of that. Y'all don't like it. So what you see is what you get. This particular year coming up for her is a year where she's going to spread her wings. Right now, she's been going through a transition of sorts, dealing with living situations, relationships. But now things are about to open up for her big time. She is about to have her fun in the sun.
She got shades on. She ready for fun. She got a shade
Yeah,
on.
yeah. And her lucky numbers are the 2, 7, and 6, and her best days are always on Monday and Fridays.
All right, all right. Andrea,
another fire sign with a fire number. So Andrea, just like Michelle, but they have a different name. So when I look at Andrea's name, she's got, let's see, that's 6, 11, 12, 15. Okay. So I see now, she noticed she's got 2 in her name. And in fact, her vowels will total up to a 7. So that means she's a kind of a laid back, sophisticated lady until you try to take advantage of her. Then you're going to get your feelings hurt. And everything about her is fire. She's born in a fire period, which is Leo. She's born on a fire day, which is a 9. And she's born in a fire year, which is 1981, that adds to 19, and 1 plus 9 is 1. So she is fire throughout her life. So she's always going to be action-oriented, very passionate, get up and go and tell her truth the way she sees it. That is how she works. And what you see is what you get. And her numbers also are the 9, 1, and 4, and her best days are always on Sunday and Tuesday.
Goddess Guru.
Goddess Guru.
A lot of sisters getting their readings. All right.
Yes. You know what's interesting? Scorpio is the sex sign in astrology, and 5 is the sex number in numerology. So that tells me this woman would have sex appeal to no end. And not only that, so yes, so although she's a water sign with a 5 number, there will always be people sweating the sister. He's never had a problem attracting the opposite sex to her. Never, ever. Now, maybe some of her girlfriends may have a problem attracting a guy. That has never been her issue. In fact, she might attract too many. And here's the thing about number 5 women. Since 5 is the number of sex attraction, 5 is the number of multiple relationships. Not necessarily. It just simply means even if she was married true blue to her husband or her mate or a man, there's always going to be somebody wanting to know, can they do a favor? Can they take her out? Can we hang out or whatever? But she works well under pressure. She doesn't like repeating herself too many times, and she don't like people that are slow, dull, or boring. You got to keep it moving with her. And this year coming up, she's going to be entering her pregnancy cycle. And when I say pregnancy, it could be biological, or a friend of hers say, girl, you're going to be a godmother, or girl, you're going to be an aunt, or symbolically she gives birth to a enterprise, especially around about April of next year, late March, April. Okay. And she's also going to be changing her appearance too. So in fact, she's working on her hair as we speak now, and her weight and stuff like that. Now, Etherian Indigo is October 29th, the water sign with a water number, which means this person is a natural sweetie pie, affectionate, tender, artistic, romantic, a person where the little things mean a lot. Now, if you talk about meeting a woman that's not high maintenance, this is the perfect one.
I think it's a dude.
A dude?
Yeah, I think it's a dude.
Okay, Etherian. Thank you, dude. And I do have to stand corrected because a lot of times I don't know, and these are not the real names. These are media names they use. Yeah. And since the majority of my clientele are women, I just go by that assumption. But if so, I stand corrected. If this is a guy, I would tell him like the first guy we did on April 29th, that women will be his blessing and his curse. He gets along well with women. He seems to understand it, but for some reason, there will be challenges as it relates to dealing with the opposite sex. They would do well in computers and technology, engineering, IT, things of that nature, counseling, statistical, things of that nature. Make an excellent psychologist, psychiatrist, social worker, things like that. But it does indicate that things are about to make a change. This year, they've been standing on their own 2 feet. Now some kind of partnership is ready to come into the mix. and bring some teamwork effort to what they've been doing, that will be much more rewarding. Their numbers are the 2, 7, and 6, and Mondays and Fridays are their best days.
All right. We got Sun Wars.
All right, we have a Libra, a Capricorn 1. Capricorns don't play, the number ones don't play, Sun Wars don't play. That's about all I can say.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
And if you notice, um, I don't know. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Okay. But anyway, this person is strong-willed, speaks her truth, tells it the way she sees it, and she will attract young and old at the same time. So sometimes she get up in the morning, go in the bathroom, and say, "Girl, what is going on?" Well, that's the kind of good fortune she has. But what happens is people will often miss her because the number one is misperceived as being cold or distant. Capricorn is also misperceived as being cold and distant, but really she is much warmer and more loyal and more faithful than people give her credit for. So what I'm saying is, to know her is to love her. And that will be the motto I'd hang on her door. And she is in a year where a lot of things are about to open up. She's about to enter a good luck cycle. She's about to enter the cycle of prosperity, abundance, self-improvement. And in March, she's going to change her hair. So it won't be looking like that by March, April of next year.
How you know she gonna change her hair by March?
This is
That's
the cycle. Well,
like that's precise. Like a precise. Like how do you know that?
well, she'll probably tell you that
Wow.
she's probably thinking about changing her hair, but by March, by late February, March, that will become a reality. She's going to do something with it. Change the color, change the length, lengthen it, shorten it, grow it more, whatever the case is, she's going to change it.
Mm.
If she gives you some feedback, she'll tell you that that's on the drawing board for her.
All right, let's get to India.
India is very sophisticated, being a water sign with a water number. Sophisticated in the sense that she loved to question things. So if you say, "India, I'm in love with you," where most of the girlfriends say, "Girl, didn't you hear Lloyd say he's in love with you?" Well, that don't move India. She wants to know, "Well, Stray, why are you loving me today?" It's
Mm.
because I hit that lottery, got my new car, got my new job, got my place. In other words, 7 women love to go down the rabbit hole. They just don't take what you say as face value. They want to know why you did what you did. It's one thing to do it, but for 7s, it's why you did it. And that is where she's at with anything she deals with. It also tells me whatever her job or occupation is, nobody questions her authority too. India knows her stuff. And if she doesn't know, she knows how to get the information. But people will, if whatever job she has, I'm willing to bet you people don't say, "Are you sure, India?" No, it don't work like that. They know if India's on it, she's on it. Because 7s are the most authoritative persons there is. Plus 25 is called the power of observations, the ability to observe things in its minutest details. So that's it. And in fact, she's going to be entering a 7 personal year because right now she's been in a love year, a year for either makeups. So in the fall of, actually in the fall of last year of 2023 going into 2024, she faced 3 doors. One door was, if she entered this year with nobody, she's probably met somebody by now. If she's entered this year with somebody, she's probably stepped it up to a deeper commitment. But if she entered this year with somebody that was working her nerves, about a month or 2 ago, it was a wrap. But she says, "You know what? I don't need this. I don't need you. I'm out of here."
Mm.
But now she's going to go into a year where she doesn't want to be bothered with a lot of body. She just want to get away from the noise, confusion, drama, and just be left alone for a minute.
Indeed. Somebody in the chat wanted to know, where is it at? Give me 1 second, y'all. Yo, Rich, how will the receipts work? Okay, so when you send a super chat, YouTube emails you a receipt from your super chat.
Interesting.
Yes, every so it's sent directly to whatever email is registered with YouTube. The email that YouTube sends you, you're gonna send that to Lloyd. Don't just send a screenshot of the screen because anybody could do that. Send Lloyd the email, forward him the email that YouTube sent you of the receipt. YouTube will send you, say you donated $5 or whatever to Black Magic 363. You're gonna forward that to Lloyd. Lloyd, what email do you
It
want
should
to?
be, let's make it the my app, which is a star 8 LLC at gmail.com. That's ASTAR, the number 8 LLC at gmail.com. It's named after my app, a star 8. ASTAR, the number 8 LLC at gmail.com. That way I can look for it specifically, but they must tell me the receipt comes from Brother Rich's show. There
Yeah,
you go.
well, when they forward it to you, it's gonna say that, or it's gonna say all of that on the receipt.
Okay.
It's gonna say
Okay.
that. So
Yeah. All this now.
yeah.
Now, once I get it, what do I do?
You can hit them up on email. Let them know. I got your receipt. Give them. We'll work it out. Because I don't know exactly how do you do it as far as like, do you have a number? Well, I'll talk to you after the show
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
tomorrow,
Sure.
and
Not
we'll
a
figure it
problem.
out
Not a problem. Not a problem.
the most convenient
I
way.
just want to make sure that people don't feel that they're being cheated or
Yeah,
shortchanged. That's all.
yeah.
Because I really don't understand the process. So I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna. The most important thing is that they email you or forward you that receipt that YouTube is going to send them. That's the most important thing.
Okay, and that will be their confirmation for me to reach out.
Somebody said, please post this. Either emails on the screen. I don't have to post it again. It's right on the screen. Star 8 LLC.
ASTARLLC@gmail.com. That's it.
All right. You good for about 15 more minutes, Lloyd? You
For
good to
you,
go?
yes.
All right, yeah. We're gonna do about 15 more minutes. I just wanted to put that out there. Let me copy and paste this because I'm gonna have to let me start this here. Okay. Yeah, let's keep it moving. So once again, family, if we do not get to you, we've gotten to so many tonight, but we're obviously not going to be able to get to everybody tonight. If we did not get to you, send your YouTube is going to email you a receipt. Forward that email to Lloyd Strayhorn. His email is on the screen, a star 8 LLC at gmail.com. And we're going to figure out the most convenient way for him to contact you and work something out. But we're going to keep it moving with the chats right now. Let's get to, I think we did India last. Okay.
Yes, she was born October 25th.
Yeah, we got Eric now.
Eric is an Aquarius master number 22. Now, in numerology, there are two master numbers traditionally. Now, there are more than that. But traditionally, there's the 11, which is visionary, and then there's the 22, which they consider the master builder, who take ideas and concepts and then transform them into things that are real or concrete. The master number 22 is assigned to one zodiac sign and one zodiac sign only, and that's the sign of Aquarius. So Eric is a genius. He's different. If everybody does something one way, he'll do it another way. When he first started dating, his mother say, honey, where'd you find him at? Okay. The boys like say, yo, man, what's that about? But he always attracts very odd and unusual people. But the brother is ahead of himself. So only a childhood friend that's been knowing him since elementary school say, yo, E, yo, Eric, that sounds just like you, your crazy self. They know he's not crazy. They just know that Eric has this way of saying and doing things before things jump off and become popular. Very sensitive, definitely independent, very, very direct with people, a little misunderstood. But if I had to have a motto, it would be to know Eric is to love Eric in that way. It does indicate in his last days he's going to travel. He's not going to wind his days up in no nursing home and all that stuff. The brother's going to be busy. He's going to be traveling. But if I had to put him into anything, it would be something connected with radio, television, computers, technology, engineering, and mechanical, mathematical sciences, things of that nature. He's also gifted with his hands and stuff like that. He will make an excellent engineer if that is what he chose to do. His key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5, and his best days always on Sundays and Wednesdays.
All right, let's get to Loretta. I'm sorry, Loretta.
Loretta is a person that sometimes to be kind of paradoxical. On one hand, she's very loving, caring, and sharing. And on the other hand, people tend to misunderstand her a lot. And so sometimes she'll even question her own self. Is something wrong with her? No, it's not anything is wrong with her. She's made of both worlds. She's a world where on one side, she's very friendly, very sociable, very gregarious. And yet on the other side, she's very private, very discreet, very, you just can't knock on her door. And she'll go through her moods too. And no, because she ain't a woman and on her hormones or Aunt Flo visiting, she's always been this way. She's had her own way where she kind of likes to be her own best company, to be honest with you. but to know her would really care for her. But the one thing about her, she's always been unique, always been different. And she's never, it's always been a puzzle why people be hating on her, but she's actually a little ahead of her time. And that's where her challenge comes in for people that really don't get to know her. But her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. And 19 Keys, this is his birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, this is 19 Keys' birthday.
Hey, Lloyd, what is it about today? September 19th, because this is more people. I've never had this many people wanting to read it. We've always had a lot of people request, but this is like a lot of people. So what is it about?
Well, first of all, if you add January the 19th to 2023, it's an 8. It's your day.
If you add what do you mean? We're in September. What do you mean?
Excuse me, September the 19th, 2023, it adds up to an 8.
And 8 is a money number.
And 8 is a money
Makes
number.
sense. Oh man,
yeah, and you've been all these donations. That makes
man, makes a lot of sense. And I mean, this all makes sense, family. This all makes that. See how it adds up, y'all. Let's keep it moving. I'm just like, wow, these people are like,
and especially that September 2 and the 20, and I mean, that's like the only one that didn't show up was one September the 11th, and we might find one before it's all over.
All right, let's get to David right now.
David is born on a day, he's born one of my heroes, that's Minister Malcolm X. Okay, in fact, my mother and father married on this day on May the 19th back in the day. He is very, very strong-willed. When I look at his name, David also is a person that's kind of a little ahead of his time, but very independent. And so with the nature of a 1, what you see is what you get. They don't mince words. They speak their truth. They live their truth, and that's the kind of person. But I tell you this, looking at his birthday and his zodiac sign, Taurus is very strong-willed. They don't like being pushed over. 1's a strong-willed. So I know that David has either been in his own business or coming up as a youngster, thought about maybe going into law, medicine, science, things like that, but preferably actually running his own business. I'm willing to bet you he runs his own business or manager or supervisor. But trying to push David Ringo around, you will get your feelings hurt. Plus, he's got all those 4s in his name. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 in his name. He's got those D's which are 4. So that tells me he likes to stay under the radar too. So he's not the kind of person that makes a big splash, but he's the kind of person that makes a splash in other ways that don't draw a lot of spotlight and time and attention on him as well. But his key numbers are the 1, 4, 9. And his best days are always on Sunday and Tuesday.
We got Libra goddess here.
But that makes sense. Libra is the sign of beauty. The number 6 is the number of beauty. Yes, she is attractive in her own way. The question is, as my mother used to say, don't be smelling yourself to think you're so beautiful. But what I'm saying is the beauty actually isn't so much on the outside as so much as the beauty on the inside. She's loving, caring, sharing. If she's got children, her children better go to school. Okay, the children ain't dropping out of her house. She likes to run her household in a certain way. So if a person is not familiar with her style, they would kind of think she's a little overbearing. It's not that she runs her home a certain way. Blue is her lucky color from the lightest to the darkest. So anytime she's going out on a date, going out on an interview, presenting her case before a judge, I'd always wear a hint of blue from the lightest to the darkest. And she's got a good judge of character too. And influential women have always helped this woman along the way too. Influential men, yes, but definitely an influential woman like a mother, a grandmother, an auntie, a daughter, a sister, or women in general will always be of help to her. But she reads you soon as she come in the door. And this person is also born on the same day too?
Yeah, 9/24. Ain't that son? But he's born in 72. She was born in 78.
I don't care. They're born on the same day.
Yeah, ain't that son?
Yeah. So he would also exhibit these qualities. He would have a lot of finesse or panache about him in the way he does things. Now, number 6 is normally, I notice with the men, they're very much into sports or athleticism, getting in the gym, making sure his muscles are tight, things of that nature, where he gets compliments like that. And 6s rule the vocal cords. They wind up making excellent singers and speakers and whatnot. And the way he may talk to women find that very intriguing, which is also none of my business. But it indicates from his birthday there was an older woman that introduced him to Sex 101 when he was a kid coming up.
Okay. Oh, let's get to Ken Day.
Kende. Okay, Kende is a Capricorn 2 person, sensitive, earth sign with a water number, which means he's that nurturing kind of guy with family, with friends, with relatives, with people in general for the most part. I notice with twos, they're very, very detailed, and they like to get into things like Scrabble, Sudoku. They like to be collectors of things. He could be a hobbyist of cars and cards and things of that nature, things that, but the little things always means a lot. And the thing about number two men that makes him so appealing to women, they seem to intuitively understand a woman, which is why women can be their blessing and their curse. So there may be women that actually love Kende, and there's some women, if they can't have their way with Kende, they ain't gonna have no other women. But if he's got daughters, it's over for him. Him and his daughters will be real tight, and he's very much into details about a lot of the things and would love to dance. So probably when he was a youngster, he was probably dancing really, really cool and stuff like this. Uh,
Let's get to the next. Who we got now? We got Paul. Paul said,
okay, Paul is born the same day as King Simon. Everybody knows how King Simon wrote. King Simon don't take no stuff. Paul a no, and not only that, but Paul's name is a 9. So Paul tells me he has a good opinion of himself. Paul may have gone into careers or occupation, or his mom or dad could have been an Aries or Scorpio or Leo, or born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month. And since 9 is drawn to uniforms, he may wouldn't surprise if he didn't get into law enforcement, the military, construction, sanitation, fire, EMS, something of that nature. But he's very, very good on his feet, and he's normally very direct. So sometimes people will have some problems, but for him, that's not his problem. He's going to speak his truth. So
okay.
if you don't want it the truth, you shouldn't hang out with Paul, because he's going to tell it the way he sees it. Now, Jasmine is an old soul, in and out. She's always, so
Um,
biologically, she's young, just entering her 33rd birthday. But if you talk to her, she will feel in certain ways older than her age. And she is, not in a sense that biologically, yes, but just spiritually. In fact, if you talk to her, she may have said that people told her when she was coming up, she was born with a veil over her face. In other words, some characteristic that always showed maturity at a very, very young age. But she's at a point that things are about to turn around for her, because normally with 8 people, like yourself, between their 33rd and 35th birthdays, their turnaround. That's when they turn things around. And so since she just entered her 33rd birthday, that tells me that she's off to the races. And she's born at 12:01 p.m. So her son is probably in about the ninth house. That's where it is.
mhm.
Yeah. And
Okay.
she's always drawn older men when she was younger. Always much older men. Scared the daylight of her parents, but she can handle it. This person is 9'4", born the same day as Beyonce. They may not have Beyonce's money, but that is the birthday of Beyonce. And this person here is very, very sensitive to things. They are like very unique in their approach and originality toward things. They're very reserved. You know them, but you don't know them. This particular year for them tells me that for 2023, things are about to open up, because they've been in a transitional sort of year. Changes around the residence, changes around the office, and changes with some of the relationships, whether they're makeups or breakups. But they're very, very different, this person, in the sense that if everybody does something one way, they are not afraid to do it another way. And it's just that simple. Or they can be on the extreme side of the 4, which means they got to follow every little detail by the book. But most 4s are rebels. Most 4s are visionaries. Most 4s think outside the box.
All right, we got Divine Family here.
Okay, blessings, brother, divine family. Well, this person here is
Thank
an
you.
air sign with a fire number. So that means they're motivated very much, and they do well in areas connected with government, religion, the arts. I've noticed also a lot of 3 people tend to do well connected with the pharmaceutical business. Salespersons, distributors, deliverers of medical products and things like that. But 3 people without doubt have a gift with children and young people and babies. They also have a gift with photography and animals. So I would have this person as a recreational thing to get into photography where the subject matters are children, animals, and senior citizens. And it tells me they were very independent. And this particular year coming up for them is going to be a year where a lot of things are going to blow up for them.
Oh
I'm
man.
telling you, they're going to be busy, very busy.
Oh. Mia, you coming up? You like two readings away. Mia says she sent a super chat an hour ago. She
In other words, you better get her in there, okay?
you right. Is one person and then you, Mia, but I'm going in exact order, family. I haven't skipped one person. I'm about to give that email again for y'all because we're about to wrap it up soon in about 5 minutes. Let's get to spiritual K.
Okay, this person is born the same day as
Charlie
Charlie Yarpert Parker. It's interesting. Michael Jackson is born on this day. They call Michael Jackson the king of bop. I mean, the king of pop, but they call Charlie Parker the king of bop, which I think is interesting. Bop and pop. So go figure. But anyway, this person, spiritual K, and I think I know this person is notice all the nines in the name. So yes, they are a water number, but if you look at the birthday, they're nothing but nines. All of these are 5 numbers. So out of 2, 4, 6, 7 of those numbers, 5 out of 7 of those numbers are all fire. That means she brings to the table of life passion and drama and conviction and things of that nature, motivation, a spirituality, a universal influence on Mitch. Yet deep down, she's very sensitive, very receptive, very intuitive about things. But yet, when motivated, nothing stops her and nothing gets in her way. And by the way, her key numbers are always the 2, 7, and 5. And her best days are always on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And this year coming up is the year where she's going to have to learn how to let go and let go.
All right, Mia sent me. All right.
Mia sent me. Okay, there. She's making sure. She has a 9 life path. That means during the course of her life, she will come across Aries and Leos and Scorpios and number 9, people born on the 9th, 18th, or 27th of the month. But it also indicates that Mia sent me is a person that's very smart, very beautiful, got interesting eyes. In fact, the left eye is a little bit more sensitive than the right eye, but she also speaks her truth. So sometimes the 28, which I call the divorce number, simply means that she has to be careful who she puts her trust in, who she seeks her counsel from, and not let people rush and push documents under her nose and say, just sign right here without looking, because she thinks like a lawyer. This is why people think she's a little distant, detached, or aloof. But what turns her on actually is intellectual conversations. So if you think you're going to just get right into the goodies, sex, take off your clothes, you will get your feelings hurt. She don't operate like that. Her thing is if you get a good conversation going, that motivates her to take whatever it is to the next level, all depending on what person has a good fortune to talk to her in that way. But she is very, very direct. She keeps it real. She walked at a very, very early age, and she's always exhibited an independent spirit. And even the last days of her life says it's going to be fun. She's going to be traveling. It's just going to be a lot of good fortunes. In fact, when she goes to foreign countries, so she'll probably wind up with a relationship with somebody who does not look like her or from her part of the human family. So I wouldn't be surprised. But her numbers are the 1, 4, and 5, and her best days are always on Sunday and Wednesday and Tuesday. Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Okay. We got Divine Deja.
Divine Deja is quite attractive in and of itself. And Divine Deja, although she's born in 1981, you could say she's almost born in 1995 or whatever the case is, and nobody would give her problems at all. It indicates that she is always a person that believed in education, believed in speaking the truth, believed in family, believed in stability, believed in honesty. And so on a job, she don't get caught up in the cliques. If you're right, I'm with you. If you're not right, I'm not down with you. Her rules are very simple. And she's got good taste. Almost everything she likes never matches what's in her pocketbook, whether it's in cash or in a credit card. And she will figure out a way. If she wants something, how she going to get it. And money, gifts, and favors will always come to her. And she needs to develop her voice. There's something magical about her voice. So if she's ever had a job where she had to talk, one of the comments that people often say, how nice and pleasant her voice is when she talks to them.
All right, as we wind down, let's get to Brandon.
Okay, Brandon is of fire and air. And these are numbers that tells me very self-motivational, Brandon is the kind of person who wears a lot of hats. When you meet people born on a 5 like Brandon, it tells me if you look over their career, they would surprise you about all the things they've done. They've done this. They can do that. They'd like to do this. Yes, they jumped out of planes. So that's why I call 5s multifaceted, multi-talented, multidimensional. They love variety. That is their thing. And they're forever youthful. So he's born in 87, but he say he could be born in 97 and nobody can fight him. This is why he's always attracted not only much younger women, but also women from different cultures as well. The only problem is, as soon as they work his nerve, he gets rid of them or keep it moving. But his lucky numbers are the 5, 6, and 3, and his best days are always on Wednesday, Friday, and Thursdays.
All right. Let's get to Empress.
Empress is a talker. Empress is expressive. Empress is dynamic. Empress always has a good reputation. Everybody knows Empress wherever she goes. Right. Whether as soon as she's up at the door, hey, Empress, Iris, how you doing? So and so and so. And when it comes to handling or dealing with younger children or younger kids or babies and stuff like that, probably one of her first jobs as a kid was babysitting the neighbors. You know, and by the way, she don't do bums. You can't come into her life and have no goals, no objectives. You got to have something going for you. And even if you don't, and she sees potential in you, she will embrace you, but she will expect you to live up to that expectation of your success. So talk is cheap with her. You can't do it like that. You got to be on the ball and know what you're doing and have something going for you or want to be somebody for her to be with you, period. And numbers, by the way, are the 3, 6, and 5. Now, this person is a teacher or educator or loves social work or something, real estate, banking, law. Working for the government in some capacity. She probably did well in the arts, thought she would be an artist, a model, actress, or something like that, or a singer. But she wears many hats too. But she's an earth sign with an earth number, which means she's very pragmatic, which is why people think she has control issues. Her birthday suggests that her sun is in the first house, which is the house of personality or the sign of Aries. So it tells me she's not having a problem taking and expressing herself. And her moon is in Scorpio, which means very intense. And her rising is in Virgo, which means she's short in stature, but very analytical in her taste, very questioning about the things she does, and very astute, and very much into her hygiene and dietary laws. That's for sure. And almost everything she likes, she really can't afford, but she likes it anyway.
All right, let's where we at right now? Jeez, boy. We did Brandon. You're right there, Lloyd. I know.
I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good, brother. I can do this all night. I love this.
All right, let's get to Mustard, my brother Mustard here.
Okay, Mustard got a birthday coming up in about a week and a half or 2. Mustard's birthday indicates he is the kind of person that don't have much patience, man. He ain't putting up. You can't be slow. You can't be repeating yourself too many times. You got to keep it moving with this brother. And in fact, he is known to probably have multiple relationships, not that he wants to, but because of circumstances where he tends to be drawn into multiple relationships. If you look at some of the things he does, he likes to travel fast. And the beauty of 5 people with health, 5 rules the nervous system, mental exhaustion, nervous tension. It also rules the hands, the arms, the shoulders. But the one signature about all 5 people, whether born on the 5th, like Mustard, or the 14th, or the 23rd, almost always when they're under pressure, because it rules the nervous system, the number 5, almost always there's some twitching around the mouth or the eyes that's telling them to hit the brakes. So Mustard, if you ever had that experience where all of a sudden some part of your face is twitching, especially around your eyes or near your mouth, it's saying, brother, you need to slow your roll. It is one of the few numbers that has a in advance warning before things get too late. Other than that, mental breakdowns, mental exhaustion, nervous tension, things like that, all that can be avoided if they pay attention to the twitching about the face. All right. And this year coming up is a year that's going to change his life for the next 2 years, all throughout not only 2024, but 2025 as well. And in fact, Mustard, to give you an idea, it's going to be like the fall of 2014 and the 2015 and 2016. You did well in those 2 years. You brought about a change. You were at a turning point in your life. You made a decision to swivel this way rather than swivel that way. And the following year, you either fell in love or fell out of love. And all that was between 2015 and 2016. But that same cycle is heading, except this time you're at a higher level to make those kind of decisions.
Okay, let's get to uh April. Let's get to April.
April's a number 5 also. But notice all those sevens.
Right.
So she's very sophisticated. Notice she donated 777. Okay. And so what it tells me is this. If I go to her home, I would expect to either find a lot of books, magazines, newspapers. You wouldn't go to her home and find 4 white walls with a TV set. No. Mm-mm. You better be prepared to go deep with this sister. She's inquisitive, always like to ask questions. In fact, she'd make an excellent detective. I would never play her. You know, she will find out. And as I tell guys, yes, I met women that are slow, but I swear to you, Brother Rich, I've never met a stupid woman. They always find out. She is no joke either. But she should get into writing because 5 is a literary number. She would do well in business, science, commerce, communications, import, export, the stock exchange, the literary field, the travel industry. But there's a part of her where she's out and about, but at the same time, she likes to be her own best company. Her key numbers are the 5, the 2, and the 7, and her best days are always on a Wednesday, followed by a Monday, and in a minor way, Friday.
All right. Let's get to the next one. We got, let me see, man. I don't even know if we did. Did we do Divine Deja already? Did we do
Yes,
this?
we did.
We did Divine
Yes, you
Deja.
did. Yes,
We didn't do Queen L.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, okay.
Born the same day as P. Diddy or Diddy, call him whatever you want. But her birthday indicates that this particular queen is a queen that's about to change her fortunes. That's for sure. That if things have been under restrictiveness, all of that is about to change. This particular year, she had to toe the row, stay within the boundaries or the borders, some type of restrictions or confinements, having to have a want not, waste not, lend not, borrow not attitude and approach. But now things are about to move in a whole nother direction in a matter of weeks, just before her birthday. Okay. And notice she was born at 20 p.m., which is a 4. And notice how she donated $4.99, which adds up to 22, which is a 4. So she's definitely a 4. Okay. And in fact, Queen, I think, adds up to an 11, if memory serves me correct. But it tells me she is a kind of person that's really out there, kind of visionary, a little ahead of people. So she too cannot always tell everybody what her game plan is, what she tends to do ahead of time, because there will be resistance only because in the moments, it's like a reading score. Can you read the words? Yes. But do you understand what you just read? Right. That's Queen L. Okay. Her numbers are the 4, 1, and 9, and her best days are Sundays and Tuesdays.
All right, let's get to Kindred, Krishan Kindred.
Same day as Stevie Wonder, a brilliant genius. Joe Louis, who said you can run, but you can't hide, the heavyweight champion, boxing champion, or the Brown Bomber, as they call him. And in this case, whatever the cycle of the year is, the universal. So right now we've been in a 2023. So that means this year she's been doing a lot of soul searching. She's been looking for answers, getting to the reasons why things are the way they are. And what's happening next is that she's going into a year that's going to put her in a position to make some power moves, some major moves, some moves that can bring her some degree of recognition and achievement and accomplishment. Is also in a pregnancy cycle she'd be entering into. Now, she may say, Lloyd, did you see the year I'm born? Yes, I did see it. But pregnancy is symbolic in numbers. So in other words, she gave birth to an idea, birth to a business, birth to a plan. And this is going to be especially the case in the month of February, which is one of her months anyway. But her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5, and her best days are always on a Sunday, a Monday, and a Wednesday.
Baby 6, you next. Baby 6, like, man, what happened to me? You next up. Go ahead.
Okay, well, Baby 6 is an old soul. That's for sure. She's always been old, very much young biologically, but old spiritually and metaphysically. So she will attract not only odd and unusual men, but much older men at some point in her life. Uh, she's a person she would do well in business, real estate, banking, law. She would eventually run her own business. But as she gets older, her life would get better and better and better. So she may be the last to marry, the last to have children, but she's going to have the last laugh. And that's the thing she needs to keep in mind. And very intense, which is why she has headaches or some concerns with her knees, teeth, or bone, especially more on the left side of the body, too.
We got prosperity pain.
That's my man. Seriously?
No,
Because
that's
that's just his image.
they just using the avatar.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's my man right there.
Yeah, that's Bobby Heaven right there. He
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Bobby, really? Okay, well, anyway, this particular person, Prosperity Pain, is a water sign with an earth number. So that means very, very much into reality, keeping everything real, 2 feet on the ground, using a lot of common sense and the mother wit, coupled with intuitions and inner knowing that can't be explained by the common way that somebody told me or read it or I heard it. They just seem to know, and that's all they need to know. Their key numbers are the 8, the 2, and the 7, and their best days are always on a Saturday, a Monday, as well as a Friday. And I'm looking at the fact that those 7s mean that this person is very learned, they're very investigative in their questioning. And so out of the 7 numbers in their birthday, 5 of them are fire numbers, 2 are water numbers. So that means they're very passionate, action-oriented, and yet there'll be times when they'll waver with sensitivity and unassuredness. But basically, for the most part, and the fact that they were born at 6:45, that means their sun was in the 12th house at the time of their birth.
All right. Some people sent multiple. Did we do Goddess Guru? Because some people sent multiple. That name sounds familiar. Some people.
Yeah, because some
Yeah,
people, if they couldn't get through, they would send another one.
yeah, right. We did
Guru.
Goddess Guru. All right,
Yeah.
we got Rob here.
Well, Rob is a person that's very sensitive about things, very receptive. He would do well in areas connected with foods, dietary laws, chefs, restaurateur business. He would also do well in areas connected with the IT world, technology, engineering, statistics, engineering, the mechanical, mathematical sciences, technology, statistics, or things of that nature. Yet he would do well as a personal trainer, a Reiki master, a life coach, psychiatrist, psychologist, social worker, things like that. So anywhere where he can be of service. And notice he's born in the year of the 2, which is 2020. 1991 adds to 20, which is a 2. So he's born on a second day and he's born in the year. So he's going to always, for the rest of his life, be a person that renders service in some way, shape, or form. But because 2s are very receptive, in other words, 2s and 5s have this thing in trait, Brother Rich, that wherever they like, whoever they hang around with. So if they grow up with saints, they become saints. If they grow up with sinners and thieves, so 2 people especially have to select their friends and environments very, very closely.
All right, let's get to Scorpio Sun Goddess. We got 2 more after this. Then we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay, good. Scorpio Sun Goddess is a person that is it's interesting. The older she gets, the younger she becomes, which sounds almost contradictory, but it is. First out on her own, doing things in a way that made her very independent. But she's a Scorpio 3, which means she's fire. A water number, but she's born under the passionate number of a 3. And she's a big thinker, a big doer, a big darer. And the worst thing to tell a 3, whether male or female, is you can't do this. Or if I wanted to get her motivated, I said, Catherine, you're going to wind up being a complete failure. Man, after she done hang up that phone and curse me out, she's going to prove me wrong. That's how she is. But she's always had younger men drawn to her. And not only that, dating younger men from different cultures too. So yes, I can see she's obviously African-American, but she'll date a European, an Asian, a person from Latin America, a Caribbean brother, an African brother, or whatever the case is like that. She could deal with her own, but I'm saying that men from different cultures also find her equally attractive. And in fact, since she's born at 11:59 p.m., not a.m., that says that hers is around the 4th house. Her sun is around in the 4th house in the sign of the zodiac. which is a house of Cancer, which means therefore loving, caring, and sharing.
All right. Last two, we got Chris Morgan.
There's another 920. We did Chris Morgan already.
We did Chris Morgan. Okay. All
Yes, we
right. So
did.
yeah, Chris Morgan must send it again.
I remember that name.
Yeah. 24/7 Tom.
I think we did Tom too because he was born in the year of the 8. We
Okay.
did him also.
Let's see. Jonathan B.
No, we didn't do him, but I can tell you this. Jonathan B's got pizzazz. He's got charisma. He's very bright. He's very engaging. He's the kind of person that reads people very well. He believes in strong sense of duty, responsibilities, obligations, and family without question. He's got great taste. And of course, he's a Leo. So, of course, that's how he's going to show classy as he can, whether he has limited resources. But the fact when he presents himself, he's going to present himself as a number one, if nothing else. That is for sure. And his lucky numbers are the 6, 2, and 7. And his best days are Mondays and Fridays, or Fridays and Monday. But what's interesting about him, his best medicine, believe it or not, is fresh air, sunlight, and a little brisk activity around the neighborhood. And it does him wonders more than any medication he can take. Mm-hmm. And he likes older women at this age. So I know a older woman introduced him to Sex 101 when he was coming up as a kid.
All right. I see a couple of people said I skipped them. I did not skip you. Conrad, let me see. Yeah, I did not. You just yeah. No, I didn't skip you, Conrad. You wasn't up on unless you didn't leave your birthday. But no, I'm looking right now. Nah. Yeah, a lot of people sent in tonight. If you and I definitely didn't skip Renaissance of Consciousness. No, I did not. But if you were not read tonight, let me leave that email. Lloyd, what's that email one more time?
It's a star 8, ASTAR 8. ASTAR, like a star in the heavens with the number 8 attached, LLC@gmail.com.
Okay. All right.
And I want to thank you. And for all of those that participate, please download my app, A Star 8. It's available on Android and Apple. You'll find it fun. It'll analyze your name. It'll tell you your lucky numbers, your stress numbers. Many of the questions you asked me is right in that app that I developed.
All right. So once again, family, if you sent in your super chat and you did not get a reading tonight, somebody said that was only one, Brother Rich. Did I leave? We'll do one more, and then we'll end that just in case we only did one.
Yeah, because I'm a little past.
I know Lloyd, like, man, but we'll do one last one. But
no, not a problem. Not a problem.
We're yeah. So like I said, family, if you sent in a super chat, YouTube is gonna send you an email. The email is that's your receipt. Take that email, forward it to this email right here, astar8llc@gmail.com, and Lloyd will figure out a way to get a reading done to you. We're gonna explain, Lloyd, how does the receipt work and everything, and you'll get your receipt in a private time. You can get a full reading. We'll work it out with the brother Lloyd. But once again, if you sent in the super chat and your name did not get called, we've been over here 2 hours. Lloyd has to go right now. We appreciate it, but he's going to take care of y'all. Send forward that email. You have to have that email. If you don't have the email, it won't work. Forward that email to star8llc@gmail.com. All right, family. With that being said, Lloyd, tell the people, King Sam said, call him and he's going to explain it to you. Because King Sam did this. He did this plenty of times on my show where the people have to contact him after the show. So just call King and he'll let you know exactly.
I'll call him right after the show. And King Simon is my brother in every sense of the word, literally.
Indeed.
He has helped me so much. God bless King Simon.
Tell the people how they could contact you. Tell them over your links, everything. One more time.
Well, my link is Linktree/numbers and you. I think King Simon presented it. It's Linktree/numbers and you. And there they can get my app, or they can just go to their respective Google or Apple store, dial in a star 8, ASTAR 8, download it. By the time you get to 8, it'll say by Lloyd Strayhorn. So you know it's there. Just download it, go for there and have fun with it. But if they go to link tree numbers in you / numbers in you. They'll find out how to get my newsletter, how to enroll in the cast, how to get the audiobook, how to get the podcast, and all the other things that I offer.
All right, we got last one, Badia Wallace.
And that is different. Now that one is totally different.
Yeah.
And I noticed they got a lot of ones in their names. So it tells me that deep down they have a desire to lead. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. Mm-hmm. So I know they're very headstrong in their determination. Not only that, they're born on the 21st day of the month, which technically make them the very last day of Scorpio, which makes them a water sign with a fire number. But it all depends, because if they're born close to midnight, they might as well consider themselves a Sagittarius. But anyway, this one is called the World card. That means this person will succeed after a long test of initiation. So I would say some of the very important years in this person's life was around his 21st birthday, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 40, 42, 45, 48, 51, whatever the case is. These will be all important years. And not only that, but it tells them it was equally important back in 1992, 1995, 1998. All these years kept adding. And then when you get to the 2000, it'll be 2001, 2003, 2000, I should say 4, 2007. But all these ages and years have been very important. But I tell you this too about him. This particular year says he's going to have to start nailing some things down. He's had a lot of fun this year. Things should have been very busy. He may have dealt with some legal or semi-legal matters, but as he moves forward into the year of 2024, he's going to really have to buckle down and shift priorities of what he wants versus what he needs to do, which is a different thing.
Indeed. Hey, with that being said, Lloyd, I want to thank you for coming on once again, family. It's like I said, if you did not get your reading, email that number, that email. I don't, what did I just put it? This chat thing is so crazy tonight. Oh man, and crazy in a good way, family. But it's moving. That's that 8, man. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's that 8, man. Y'all seen him talking about the 8? That's that 8.
And if they just go to astar8.com, they can also, if they're having a problem downloading my app from Apple or Google, just go to astar8.com. That way you get right into it and you can enter that way, and it's much easier too. But that's the email where they leave their receipts. Send me the receipts there. Simon will explain to me the process and I will get back to you. But there will be a fee for a larger reading. Only on a show like this do I do this. But, you know, if a couple of people are going to donate about $5, $6 and want me to think I'm going to read them for 20 minutes, it's not going to happen.
No, they know better than that. One last one real quick, and we're getting out of here after this, Lloyd. One last one real quick.
She gets along better with men than she does women. In fact, she finds it very challenging, Rena, to get along with with women, because especially when these women bring their men around, half these men she does have no interest in anyway. But men in uniform tend to be attracted to Rena also. Police, military, construction, things like that. And it has an appeal for her. But the one thing about it, she's very open. She's very honest. She's very inspirational, bringing out the best in people. But she don't take no nonsense from nobody. She has a very good opinion of herself. And this is why they think she's something else. And sometimes they'll call her the B word, and her first name don't start with a B. It starts with an R.
Man, Rena. Hey, Lloyd, thank you once again, my brother. Always a pleasure having you on here, man. The way you did that, bro, you cold with it, man. You cold with it, man. I'm happy to have you on here. Holla at Lloyd, get a full reading, everybody. Even if you didn't send in a super chat, just I would advise you eventually. It don't have to be today or tomorrow or this year, but eventually I would advise everybody. It's worth it to invest in yourself and get a full reading with this brother. We still got 1,400 people in the chat. I would advise every one of y'all.
Are you serious?
Oh no, yeah, we had people. They was in here listening. We had about 2,000 people in here tonight. They was listening, Lord.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a powerful show, my brother. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna see you next time. I'll call you tomorrow, and also King Simon will call you tomorrow to let you know about
good.
Everybody
Good night.
Okay.
Good night. Thank you so much, Brother Rich.
Okay, brother. All right, peace.
Peace.